Hi, everyone. Today I have something truly special for you. An eye-opening story that could completely change the way you think about money, success, and life itself. This isn't just any story. It's a lesson that has transformed millions of lives, including mine. We're talking about Rich Dad, Poor Dad, one of the most powerful books ever written on financial freedom. Now, imagine this. You're a young boy or girl growing up, watching the adults around you. One person tells you, study hard, get a good job, and save your money. But another person says, learn how money works, invest wisely, and build wealth. Two completely different ideas. Which one would you follow? This was the exact situation Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, faced. He had two father figures in his life, both giving him advice, but with totally opposite views. One was his, poor dad, his real father. A highly educated man, a teacher, who believed in working hard, getting good grades, and climbing the career ladder. But despite his education, he always struggled financially, living paycheck to paycheck. The other was his rich dad, his best friend's father. He didn't have a fancy degree, but he had something even more valuable: financial knowledge. He built businesses, made investments, and believed that learning about money was more important than traditional education. And then, Rich Dad told Robert something shocking. You don't work for money. You make money work for you. This one sentence changed everything for Robert. He started seeing money differently, not just as something to earn and spend, but as a tool to build wealth. Now pause for a moment and think. Isn't this the reality for so many of us? We're taught to get a job, work hard, and save. But no one teaches us how to make money grow, how to invest, or how to break free from the cycle of just working to pay bills. Rich Dad called this cycle the rat race. Most people work hard, earn money, buy a house, get a car, but then the bills, taxes, and loans keep piling up. So they work even harder, and the cycle never ends. Robert saw his poor dad stuck in this trap. But his rich dad? He was calm, confident, and stress-free about money. Why? Because he knew a secret. Wealth isn't about how much you earn. It's about how you manage and grow what you have. Rich Dad taught Robert the difference between assets and liabilities. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket, like a rental property, a business, or an investment. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket, like an expensive car, a loan, or credit card debt. Most people buy liabilities thinking they're getting richer, but the rich, they invest in assets first. Robert realized true financial freedom comes when your assets generate enough income to cover your expenses. That way, you don't have to work. You choose to work. But here's the thing. Most people don't invest because they're scared. What if I lose money? They ask. Rich Dad had a powerful response. The poor avoid risks. The rich learn from them. He explained that making mistakes isn't failure, it's learning. The key is to start small, gain knowledge, and keep going. So, how can you start building wealth? Here's the plan Rich Dad gave Robert. 1. Track your money. Write down what you spend and find ways to save. 2. Start small. Invest a little in stocks, real estate, or a side business. 3. Keep learning. Read books, attend seminars, and find mentors. 4. Focus on assets. Before buying luxuries, invest in things that make money. 5. Reinvest your profits. Instead of spending what you earn, use it to grow your wealth. Robert followed these lessons and his mindset shifted. He no longer saw money as something to spend. He saw it as something to grow. But there was one more important lesson. Rich Dad said, "To become rich, you must first control your emotions." Sounds strange, right? But think about it. Fear keeps people stuck in jobs they hate. Greed makes people spend money just to impress others, and doubt stops people from even trying. Rich Dad explained, the rich feel fear too, but they take action anyway. They don't chase money just to spend it. They use it to buy freedom. And most importantly, they never stop learning. And here's something surprising. The richest people in the world are the ones who give back. Robert was confused. How does giving make you richer? He asked. Rich Dad smiled. When you help others, you create value. That value brings new opportunities, connections, and success. He shared a story of a businessman who started with nothing but gave free mentorship to young entrepreneurs. Years later, those same people became his business partners and investors, helping him build a massive empire. So, what's the biggest takeaway from Rich Dad's lessons? Success isn't about luck. It's about mindset, action, and discipline. Most people wait for the right time to start saving, investing, or following their dreams. But guess what? The perfect time never comes. The best time to start is now. Because in the end, wealth isn't just about money. It's about freedom. The freedom to do what you love, help others, and live without regrets. So, my friends, as you finish this story, remember, your journey to financial freedom begins today. Start small, stay consistent, keep learning, and never, ever give up. Because the only thing standing between you and success is the action you take right now. Your time is now. Make it count. Conclusion: your journey to financial freedom begins today. The lessons from Rich Dad. Poor Dad are not just about earning money. They're about changing how we think about wealth, success, and financial independence. Robert Kiyosaki's journey teaches us that the difference between the rich and the poor is not just about income, but about mindset, habits, and financial knowledge. Many people work hard all their lives, yet they struggle financially because they don't understand how money works. They follow the traditional path, getting a job, earning a salary, and spending on liabilities, without ever building real wealth. They remain trapped in the rat race, believing that a higher salary will solve their problems, only to find that as their income grows, so do their expenses. Rich Dad's wisdom teaches us that financial security doesn't come from working harder. It comes from working smarter. Instead of just earning money, we should focus on making our money work for us. This means investing in assets that generate income, continuously learning about financial management, and making smart decisions that create long-term wealth. The key takeaway from this book is that financial freedom is possible for anyone, regardless of background or education. You don't need to be born into wealth or have a high-paying job to become financially independent. What you need is financial intelligence, the ability to understand how money flows, how investments grow, and how to turn opportunities into wealth-building strategies. Robert's story proves that it's never too early or too late to start making smarter financial choices. Whether you're a student, an employee, or someone struggling to manage expenses, you can begin today by changing your perspective on money. Start by tracking your expenses, saving wisely, investing in assets, and focusing on continuous learning. Most importantly, don't let fear hold you back. Many people avoid investing because they are afraid of losing money. But as Rich Dad said, failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the journey. Every wealthy person has faced failures, learned from mistakes, and kept moving forward. The world is full of opportunities, but only those who take action will see results. Don't wait for the perfect time to start. It doesn't exist. The best time to take control of your financial future is now. So, what will you do next? Will you continue following the traditional path, or will you take charge of your financial destiny? The choice is yours. Your journey to financial freedom starts today. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. See you in the next one.